of all. Of course, today is National Men's Cooking Day. I didn't realise that was, but is it a national or an international one, Brian McDermott?
It's national, and I'd say they're going to make it weekly if we're successful.
So don't make it too. No. I'm only joking.
And by the way, it wasn't my fake tan because yours is darker.
Ooh,
yeah, you see that.
My God Almighty. Jen Hogan, how are you?
I'm a big fan of National Men Make the Dinner Day.
Yeah. And are you a fan of the dish that Brian's going to make?
Oh, it's divine. It's absolutely gorgeous. Mm-hmm. All for getting men into the kitchen.
Yeah, and it's great. The more we can get in, the better.
Yeah,
well,
really.
And we love being in the kitchen, Brian.
Well, that's it. Yeah. That's the message to start.
And we're good at it.
We are good, aren't we?
Yeah.
Well,
you are anyway.
Time will tell.
What are we going to make today exactly?
Okay, so we're putting the two themes together, and we have a bit of stout. Because what I genuinely like about a bit of stout going in along with beef is it breaks down the fibre of beef, it tenderises it, and it gives the sourness of flavour. So it actually works quite well. And pick whatever stout's local to you.
Yeah. There are loads of them out there these days as well.
Absolutely, and we're starting with, look, it's a small joint of meat, about 1 kilo, and that's going to feed a family of about 6. Seal it in a hot pan, just with oil, and then I'm going to add in a few knobs of butter. You've got to seal it around all the sides of it, and then after that we're going to start adding a few basic vegetables and build up those layers of flavour. Yeah. So important.
Low and slow, Brian, is this where we're going to cook this one?
Yeah, and I think that's what we're getting into for the winter. So to me there's 2 ways of doing low and slow. This type of dish or pot here, and everything in one, lid on, or of course you can make it in here and then transfer it to your slow cooker, but not an air fryer job for this one.
No.
Definitely not. And you need those flavours developed. That's what you're after. See that colour there? Just spend a couple of minutes turning it and re-season it just with a little bit of salt. Beef can take on a good bit of salt. It needs it. It also helps draw out the moisture and to seal it. Now, if you don't seal that meat properly, though, what's going to happen is it toughens up like old stewed beef that you would remember.
And we don't want that.
Well, sure, it rare just too.
It did, yeah. No, but we're gone past that, Brian.
I know.
There's a nice high heat underneath that.
There is, yeah, and a nice brownness, like we call it caramelization. That's what we're after. It's important. Continue to turn it. So I'll just do it on both sides, and then I'll remove that. And you want this nice sort of butter nuttiness that we're going to refer to, and then we're going to add in our vegetables in at that stage. And the only key thing that I really want to focus on is when you're adding vegetables to the base of a pot like this, we're tempted to add everything in together, but you've actually got to sweat off the onions, the garlic and the bay leaf. That's the foundation, that's the base of any flavour. Skip those steps and you won't have flavour. It's as simple as that.
Well, we don't want that now.
So that's it. You see a nice colour there going on all sides of that. So I've got my onion and garlic already chopped, and I've that well seasoned.
The meat comes out for a while.
Just let that rest on the tray.
So all the lovely flavours are inside, because you've sealed it all in, Brian.
Yeah, and don't be scared of what you see in the bottom of that pot, because this is a dark brown stew. So what that means is that we're going for that darker colour. Where if I lightly fried that and maybe had a bit of white meat, poultry or chicken in there, I wouldn't be too worried about it. Okay. 2 bay leaves. Hugely important as far as I'm concerned, because nice earthy flavour and a bit of fresh thyme. Again with thyme, don't just drop it in. Finger and thumb, pull away the leaves, release the aroma, get the smell, and try and get most of it into the pot.
And again, that high heat will release all those lovely aromas and flavours.
Continue with that, and as you continue with that and you add in your vegetables. Now, when you look at your vegetables, we've got carrot and we've got parsnip. Parsnip because it's a nice root winter vegetable. Carrot in first, it's hard. I peeled it, diced it up, and it's going to soften fairly quick. And I've got celery here as well, and once I add in the celery and parsnip, I'll add in a few chopped leeks to that, and then I'll show you what happens, and we're ready then for a little bit of the stout.
This is one for all the family, Jen, isn't it?
It's really nice. This is definitely something I do now. I'm not a great cook, and they're paying complete attention to what's to happen, because it's so nice and it's so tender. It's really, the meat is so tender, and even getting the vegetables in there is great.
Brian, and this is one of those dishes where if you came back to it tomorrow and the day after, it's almost nicer again.
It's always better, because what simply happens there is it's concentrating down in, the meat is continuing to tenderise, and that's what you want really, because it'll fall apart, but that's also down to the choice. You're not using a prime cut here, we're not using sirloins, fillets, they're 2 here.
Yeah.
They're just big fillets.
But it's kind of like round steak, is it?
Yeah, it's the eye of the round, and you'll know that from your butchery days.
Yeah.
Probably hard to shift, and people would have sold it as a roast previously, but I think it's quite nice in a dish like this.
Because it's not too fatty either.
No.
Yeah, it's lean enough.
Yeah, you need the leanness, you need the fat.
No, what went into the pot there while we were chatting?
Okay, so these are all of our root vegetables. So we've got our onion in there, we've got our garlic, got our bay leaf for thyme, we've got our carrots and our parsnips, our leeks and our celery. a few basic winter vegetables.
Can I ask you, at what stage do you take out the bay leaves?
I keep them into the very end, and I think they're pretty obvious at the very end as well.
Yeah.
So what we'll do now is that's continue to sweat off, Dahi, and that's when you're going to add in your Guinness, okay?
Or your whatever stout you
Local
want.
stout, whatever it may be, that's up to you. Into the base of the pot, and we just let that reduce down for a few minutes. Once that reduces, you know what happens then, it takes on the big sour notes and the flavour, the bitterness, all of what we're after that you're experiencing there, the lovely eat and that.
Yeah. And again, it's fair to say, Brian, for people watching at home, listen, all the alcohol that'll all be gone from it.
Yeah, once you reduce that, it'll evaporate off and you're losing it. So you might ask why bother? Because you want those bitterness flavours that are left behind.
Yeah.
And into that we're going to add our flour, because that's going to help thicken your sauce, and that can be potato flour if you wish. And then a bit of tomato puree into that one.
Yeah.
And then we're going to add in our stock and our mushroom and our beef back in. And I'm going to say it's as simple as that, but this is all about the preparation. It's all about having your vegetables and having your ingredients ready. That's cooking in general. Take stock of what you have and you'll enjoy the cooking process. So if it's men and they're new to the kitchen, you know, cooking is about confidence. That's all it's about. No more than that.
Yeah. Jane, this is something you'd make, I imagine.
It is, absolutely, and it's the idea of making something that everyone can eat, you know, that it's grand, handy, it's all in the pot, everybody can eat it. It's definitely something I'd make now. I was wondering about the stout. I was wondering, can you give that to kids? But you're saying the alcohol
It'll all be gone,
so you're grand.
Yeah, and even if you did want to leave it out, you know, add in some bitters at the end, you know, the likes of your Worcester sauce, something that gives that nice sourness and bitterness.
What type of stock did you use there?
So that is a beef stock that's gone into that one.
Yeah. So the beef goes back in again.
Beef's back in, and then we transfer that to the oven, and then we really leave that for about 4 hours. Sorry?
4 hours, and at what temperature, Brian?
I'm at 160 at the moment.
160.
And again,
do you have to check on that at all halfway through or anything, Brian?
I do. I give it a very quick stir halfway through, and that's really all you need to do with
After 2
that.
hours, a quick stir around the place.
And look at that. You know, it's gorgeous and succulent. Ooh, mashed potato with that one, and you'll be good enough to eat.
Yeah. How they all Donegal, Brian?
Everybody's good, thank God. We're just settling in now for the winter, battening down the hatches. That's what we tend to do, isn't it?
You went to Dingle as well, I see.
I had a great time in Dingle for the Bloss Awards only a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah. Dingle Food Festival as well.
God, they love you down there.
A huge success. They'll only say that to your face now.
Well, I'll tell you.
I don't get down as much as I'd like to. But look at the lovely colours there. And there's a bay leaf. You can leave it inside there, just don't eat it.
I did that deliberately, so
I know.
you spot that.
It's really gorgeous, isn't it? So nice.
Oh, Brian McDermott. Oh my God. Beautiful.
It's divine.
Absolutely lovely.
Isn't that deep winter flavours?
It's going right in there now in a few seconds. Brian Gurmahal, thank you very much. Safe journey back to Donegal. Jen, you're going to stay with us, of course. RT.8/food for the rest of the morning. Tasha Gahal. Come on, peace be